morning. I swear a lot.
Hello friends, and welcome back to Limbus Company. So, first order of business, very important to mention this, but summer has actually kicked in Britain now, and it is f***ing roasting. Perhaps not as hot as maybe where you're from, but the problem is British houses A, don't have air conditioning, and B, are heavily insulated to keep in warmth because it gets very cold. So, we're not well suited to high temperatures, and as a result, it gets roasting in here. Now, I could have sealed myself in a tomb of superheated death, but instead I have opened the window and turned on my fan to circulate air around the room. So the point is, if you hear stuff in the background, hear weird background noise, I apologize, but it was that or me sweat half my body weight and die, at which point the video would never come out. So this felt like the better option. Other than that, Limbus stuff, my dude. We need to keep extracting this and see if we can get a thing. I want that Faust ego. It looks alright so far, there's stuff in here. Never let it be said that there's not stuff in here. The question is it stuff I can use or stuff I've already got? Like, I really do try and comfort myself by being like, well, at least I'm getting ego shards, you know, that's something, but it's cold comfort. No surprises, just rank 2s. Come on. Nope. Come on. Nope, and let me guess. No, okay. Still no new IDs. My good luck had to come to an end eventually. It's fine, it's fine. I'm not mad. Why would I be mad? No, I'm not mad. No, I'm never mad about anything. Nah, I'm perfectly chill, dude. Don't worry about it. I'm chill because I got the fan on. It is once again Walpurgis night, so that'll be fun. Wait, this is a battle. Oh, this is the event that happened shortly after I started playing with Malkuth. Yeah, I have that announcer, as it turns out. Cool, fun, alright. Well, let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna go pure 7 for this battle. I like it, I like it. Cool, cool, cool. So how the fuck do we end up in LogCorp? This is, greener than usual. Green lights blinding our eyes and loud alarms rupturing our eardrums. I've gotten used to it by now. Ooh! I have been rested from my refuge of sleep once again. Curses. Good news is, if there is any background noise, you won't be able to hear it over this fucking alarm. Thanks to the alarm, the sinners begin waking up one by one from their naps. Walpurgis night has descended once again. It's almost as if we knew when this would happen. Even amidst that chaos, Faust remained as calm as ever. She walked up to the helm and shut off the alarm. Already? I thought it was supposed to be a really rare occurrence. No. Yes, it is a rare occurrence, but its frequency is not something we can reliably predict, because development time is hard. I guess going back to sleep's out of the question now, so there's a chance that it goes off next week too? The possibility is there, yes, yet I don't believe that it would happen so soon. It takes some time for Mephistopheles' engine to resonate. Faust, who was busily interfacing with the device while answering Rhodia's question, came to a sudden stop. What's up? Is there something wrong? Is it Sentata? Is he back? Is he back again? Is he on the ship? No, everything is under control. This is within the predictable range of variables for one such volatility. Cool, that's reassuring. I merely paused to contemplate how I should explain this to you and the rest of the sinners, Dante, considering that this will be a new environment for all of you. That is, I was wondering how I might be able to shorten every single word down to one syllable, as that is all that you guys understand. New environment? I looked at her curiously, but I did not voice my concerns. She was already walking toward the back door. Faust was not going to answer my question anyway. It is said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, in this case, a first-hand experience. Yep, knew it. Oh, thus our humdrum daily lives are spruced up once again. You know, it wasn't that long ago that you were scurrying all over the cabin and placing weird decorations everywhere. Don't tell me you're already tired of it. Forsooth, I believe that we've had more than enough celebration for that occasion. Dante, please lead the way. The bored sinners seemed to find this new possibility of an adventure somewhat exciting. They slowly got up from their seats with enthusiasm. You don't slowly get up with enthusiasm, but I digress. We again made our way to the back door. Dante, the door in which this volatility occurred is in the direction of the dungeons. Oh, so we gotta head toward my room. Don't go in, it's a mess. Yes, please open the door. She did say something about the corridor changing depending on who opens the door. I walked across the corridor, trying to recall what Faust once said to me. Nice, we're not going into the restricted zone this time. Yeah, no Santa's meat factory this time, but it's never entirely off the cards. Unlike the other time we had to, while off duty, jump to the rescue of some dumbasses who decided to saunter in there despite the repeated warnings. You know, it'd be really funny if that happened. Oh, I won't do it again, alright? Shit. You've gone against the warning twice already. You are far from the most trustworthy sinner among us. Agreed. I have done it only once, in case thou weren't aware. Shy at you. I'm starting to enjoy this raucousness among the sinners. Hoping that this camaraderie would last for a long time, I turned the handle and opened the door. Oh, hang on, no, it's hung loose. So it's like, oh, it's that really kind of weird high-pitched but not high-pitched way he does his wows. Oh, I can't do it. It's not something that can be emulated. Only Hong Le can do it. That door... Right, the door had transformed into an oddly familiar shape. This looks like one of those doors we saw back at one of the Lobotomy Corp branches. A coincidence, I'm sure. It is identical. It appears that different shapes are overlapping over the door, but all of them are of the same design. Correct, the overlapping shapes are more clear evidence that Walpurgis Night has returned. Opening now. Ooh! The door creaks open and another corridor appears before us. So this is another LobCorp branch, innit? The longer I look at it, the more familiar it becomes. This place definitely looks a lot like those Lobotomy Corp branches we've been to. If anyone thinks that my Heathcliff voice is ridiculous, I should point out that in the original literature in which his character is from, the character was raised in Yorkshire. Okay, this was brought to my attention recently, I did not know this. But what that means is that if there was an English voice-acted version of Heathcliff, he would probably have a Yorkshire accent. Which means he talked like this, get to couple on tea, mother.
Show off to the mates at golf club. Hey, I've got one of them gearboxes like Michael Schumacher.
That's how he'd sound. So be grateful, because it could be a lot worse. I can't reliably do a Yorkshire accent, or I absolutely would, but my old boss had a Yorkshire accent. Couldn't take him seriously. Oi, smart! If we could just pop open the door leading straight to one of them branches, why are we doing any of this tour bus business? Ain't we wasting time and effort out here? Look at me, actually considering things in a logical manner. I can do it. I just don't feel like it half the time. There are numerous inaccuracies in your statement that must be corrected. I will tackle them in reverse order of your presentation. Beginning thusly. First, Walpurgis Night is an unpredictable event that not even I could predict. To base our entire operation on such an unstable element would be a plan most foolish. I suppose that's true. Eve, let's try to think a little before we speak, eh? Heathcliff scowled at Rhodia's remark, but soon grew dejected once he noticed that the other sinners were nodding in agreement. Oh, poor boy. Well, I won't completely deny the possibility of pursuing that method. However, I must clarify that this is not a real Lobotomy Corp branch of the city, merely a result of Walpurgis Night's mutation of the corridor. Therefore, I can say with quite the certainty that this does not align with our current mission, which is to retrieve the Golden Boughs from the branches existing in our current reality. Right, will you stop it with your lectures when I apologise for speaking without thinking? Please? As I have said previously, I won't completely deny the possibility of pursuing that method. Besides, there are more inaccuracies to be addressed. More? I didn't think there was anything more for her to correct, but Faust clearly seemed to think that there was another critical error in Heathcliff's statement. And without even flinching and wearing that serious expression, she looked into the distance. This is not one of the Lobotomy Corporation branches. This is the headquarters, Faust muttered. Not one of them? So this isn't a LobCorp facility? Oh, it is, but it's the big one, the Mamba Jamba. This is not a branch. We are at a Lobotomy Corp headquarters of the past. Its point in time and the branch of possibility uncertain. Oh. Bah. So this is... Broken Wing. We're in the wing! This place is a shithole now. Ah, it's that fucking trauma-laden music of which I am so familiar. Indeed, we find ourselves at a control team hallway of the former L-Corp headquarters. I can sense the rising apprehension among the sinners, despite the fact that this probably wouldn't mean much to most of them. It means a lot to the player if the player has played Lobotomy Corp. Not so much if you haven't. So this is where it happened. I don't remember it since it happened before my amnesia, but everyone in the city knows about that incident. Alright, okay, so there is a good reason why the sinners would be apprehensive then. Fair enough. The source of the blinding light that enveloped the city for days, which then sunk everyone into utter darkness for the next. But Faust appears unaffected by the general air of anxiety of those around her. Instead, she continues to look off into the distance, away from the sinners. Maybe it's because she doesn't care, or maybe what she already knows doesn't faze her. Are you waiting for something, Faust? Are you waiting for a little something? I am. There is more to this volatility than the volatility phenomena we have experienced in the past. This is a big special one. Soon it will... Before Faust finished, the lights of the corridor suddenly switched colors. It has begun. It has begun! What treachery is this? Is this what they call sight burial? A different siren would play if an event of a magnitude requiring that level of response had occurred. Then what the hell is this? I'm really not liking the look of that red light. They're here, ahead. Oh my god, can that be a little bit quieter, please? It's so fucking loud. I followed the tip of Faust's finger, which pointed toward the same direction she'd been looking at this entire time. Steam of unknown origin began to coalesce there. Is that a machine? And a bizarre machine of sorts appeared there. The answer is yes, Gregor, it is. This is an ordeal. Color, green. Time, dawn. And be glad it's only dawn. All units! Don't need you to spell it out for us, that menacing pile of scraps coming this way. Everyone seemed to know that something like this was going to happen. They prepared for battle, warily eyeing the mysterious machine and its many blades. That an abnormality too? No, wait. Feels more like a Picatulum? I instinctively blurted out the immediate sense they gave off and looked to Faust. She'll know what to say. Instead of giving me an answer, however, Faust brandished the Zweihander and stepped forward. We must first suppress the entities. Dante, prepare the identity cards. Oh, we're going to be playing some identity cards, you better believe it. And they've all got the number 7 on them. Hello, friends. One day a question crossed through my mind. I didn't get to read it. What a shame.
잠시만, 볼륨 좀 확인해 볼게. 대답 소리가 잘 들리지 않아서.
I keep forgetting I have announcers because I just don't use them. So do we need to actually destroy 30 of them before the time limit, or we fail the mini? Because if so, that's quite rough. I don't think oh, they're level 20. Alright, it'll be a fucking joke then, Jesus. When this unit defeats an enemy with an attack skill, deal 10 SP damage to all enemies. When staggering or defeating an enemy with an attack skill, this unit heals 50 HP. If that ever happened, I guess your run would be fucked, really, wouldn't it? Because you have to do this quickly. Go on, lads. We love a little bit of First Trumpet around here. It's one of my favorite Project Moon tracks in general. Oh, beautiful. Oh, fucking sublime. Oh, amazing. It's so nice to fight something so weak. Because we actually get to get a sense of our, like, identity strengths. Like how strong this team actually kind of is.
하지만 아직 부족해. 다음 공격은 더 잘할 수 있도록.
We'd want stuff with attack weight if we wanted to get through this quickly, but I'm not really spec'd for it, so it's probably not going to happen. I guess Red Eyes Open could be helpful. I didn't equip you with binding. Yeah, because I only, or binds even, because I only did that for the railway, not on the actual team itself. I'd love to do this challenge again now that I've got a lot better, you know, teams and stuff, but it's too late now. Oh, this track is such a bop. Fucking love it. Turn that shit up.
그래, 얘는 처리했고.
우리가 우세를 점하고 있어. 하지만 여기서 방심하면 안 돼. 지휘팀이라면 완벽하고 빈틈없이 모든 걸 끝마쳐야 돼.
배어냈지. 목숨을 파악했어. 것만 예.
침묵했어. 침묵했어.
Oh, love that track so much. Oh, so good. Oh, so amazing. All right, let's get through this. Thing is, I know I'd really like to get, like, a librarian identity at some point, but the problem is that librarians don't have set abilities, you know? The whole point of librarians was to use key pages, so there isn't really a way to make that identity work, but I would really like that. I just don't see how it could be possible, but I would really like it.
것만 예. 빈틈 투성이로군.
그래, 얘는 처리했고. 그래, 얘는 처리했고.
So does that count as a win or a loss, or does it not matter for the purposes of this? Aha! Eventually you managed to reduce the machines to a pile of scrap metal. We're quite good at this sort of thing. Ooh, Frau Faust, there's gotta be a reason we decided to stand our ground and fight instead of shutting the door on them, right? Yes, we stand to gain more reward by defeating them than by fleeing. Reward? Gregor repeated, clearly expecting her to elaborate, but Faust ignored his gesture and instead began to observe the walls and items around her. What were the nature of these entities? I like this place because it's not on the ocean. Yi Sang stood next to Faust and began to muse alongside her. They are entities that used to appear in Lobotomy Corp headquarters, entities similar to yet different from the abnormalities. Lobotomy Corp headquarters used to call them ordeals, and they were a right fucker sometimes. Ordeals, I see. Then was this corridor, which is evidently not a containment unit, also utilized to contain certain entities as well? These monsters have a tendency to spontaneously appear during certain periods. Monsters? Like monsters of the outskirts? I suppose that is one way of looking at it. However, that comparison may grow increasingly inaccurate as we delve further into the technicalities. All I can share with you is that you will eventually come to know more of it, Dante. Like the nocturnal march of 100 demons? Why isn't that an ordeal? God, I'd love that. Except I wouldn't, but I would. I like it. Oh, Dante, there is something I must inform you. Of many things, you have an empty head with no brain. Yeah. There is a high chance of these ordeals or encounters of similar intensity appearing from these volatilities. I recommend challenging every occurrence of these encounters. So she says, guys. I really don't like this lighting. I welcome thy proposition. 'Tis two birds with one stone. Indeed, we may find entertainment as we train ourselves to be better. Except for Faust and Yi Sang, who were quietly exchanging their observations, each sinner began rowdily sharing their impressions. Well, I guess that's a more reasonable proposition than let's just doze off in the boss until we find land. Hopefully, Faust or Yi Sang will one day find the time to explain their findings to me. Doubtful. Right, we had to get moving. I approached the sinners to get us going. That was fun. I like that. And obviously, that was an introduction to the event that took place a couple months ago. Back to the boss. Everyone back on the boss. Warning, warning, land ahoy. Charon, who had been quietly holding the helm for a while, suddenly spoke up. As if on cue, everyone in the cabin simultaneously jumped up from their seats. The crew's joy at the end of this long journey was palpable, except we're just gonna have to dry to T-Corp afterwards anyway, but shush. Finally, is it over? My eyes well with tears of relief. If they ever let us go on a vacation, remind me to preclude any seafaring options. I think I've had enough of the Great Lake for one lifetime. Yeah, I think everyone who's been on the Great Lake has had enough of it for a lifetime. Some sinners began to visibly relax with the realization that the long lake voyage had finally come to an end. Others rushed to the windows as if they were expecting anything to have changed while we were away from the shores. You guys being so overdramatic. Back in my sailor days, setting sail on the Great Lake meant that you'd have to spend at least 3 years at the treacherous sea out of any landsman's sight. Right, I think I've heard that exact sentence a few dozen times by now, so... Agreed, you have made your point, Ishmael. I found it difficult to tolerate when you began sharing that story for the 4th time. You guys were the ones who complained that no one had any fun stories to tell. Just as we were exchanging a few meaningless jabs at each other. Boom. Or should we really transform the ship into a bus while we're still in it? Mephistopheles suddenly jerked violently as though something had exploded. Of course, we were all promptly thrown about the bus boat like ragdolls. Is everyone okay? Oh, can this bloody bus come to a smooth stop for once? Wait, bus? Heathcliff was right. I took a quick look around and realized that the cabins had transformed back to the shape of the bus we'd grown so used to. Charon hit the transform button, click-clack. Charon, can you give us a warning for once? At least a turn signal or something, please? Oh, I can tell you, I bet, I would put money on the fact that Charon never uses her turn signals, ever. She absolutely strikes me as the type. Yeah, Charon, please. Bus boat don't have turn signals. Too bad, bug guy. I thought there was going to be some complicated procedure to transform it back to a bus. I guess it just happens with the click of a button, huh? I thought we'd have to stop by a workshop or a boatworks office again. One of many functions of Mephistopheles is that it can remember every form or property it once possessed. You may be thinking, how fucking convenient, and you'd be right, yes. Therefore, it follows that once it takes a certain form, it can revert to it or any of its previous forms at any time. I see, said Sinclair, not seeing. Anyways, we're finally back on land. Aren't you glad, Heathcliff? You've been so looking forward to this. Oh. Heathcliff's face lit up for a brief second, before a vortex of complicated feelings overcame him. Then, oi, vroom vroom lass, are we at T-Corp? Heathcliff was talking to Charon, but she did not reply. Maybe it was because he didn't call her by her name, or maybe it was that she didn't really know where we were either. She always drives wherever her whims take her, after all. This monochromatic grey hue is reminiscent of that place, indeed, yet there is a disparity. Yeah, I suppose it was a sort of different monochromatic hue than whatever this is. T-Corp, District 20. I've never been there myself, but I've tangentially experienced it via Yisang's Fathoms of Ego, is that what we're calling them now? Yeah, that place was supposed to take our colours away, wasn't it? Have some patience, Heathcliff, we are still in the back streets. We are getting quite close to the place you know so well, aren't we? Vergilius, you had no reason to provoke him like that. Is there a reason we're going through the back streets instead of heading straight to the nest? Ah, you're right. Why are we going through the back streets anyway? I am curious as well. The backstreet roads are rife with dangers and winding roundabout paths. This carries an unnecessary risk, does it not? I would also like to highlight that the immigration process is significantly more lenient when one is migrating from a nest to a nest than it is when migrating from the back streets to a nest territory. I don't know why I ran out of breath during that one, but I did. Jesus Christ. Ishmael's question to Vergilius had opened a whole new floodgate of questions from other sinners. Looks like you've all grown rather chatty since we first met. You must know that it won't change how I choose to answer your questions. Ask me all you want. I will not spare the time to give you a comprehensible explanation for your convenience. What's wrong with asking for some explanations if we're being led through a questionable path? This is dumb. I want to know why you chose a dumb path. It is your job as our guide to tell us where to go, isn't it? Are you suggesting I do my job, Miss Ishmael? Unthinkable. Don't tell me that we haven't been authorized to enter T-Corp's nest yet, and here I thought Limbus Company was a proper business. Ha! What gave you that impression? Sure, it's relatively new, but I thought that we had a rather substantial backing. We can receive proper authorization to enter most nests should we request it. Then why? It's the company's will. Virgilius silenced the entire hubbub on the bus with a short but low growl. My job as your guide is to plan a path toward the destination as requested by the company. Selecting this path was also a part of accommodating that request, so please, know your place and shut your mouth. Perhaps the commotion was getting to him. I could tell that Virgilius was rubbing his ear out of frustration. Well, if that's the case... While doubt was still apparent on Ishmael's face, she nodded affirmatively. She was acknowledging that there was little we could do about the orders from the company itself. Alarms! Getting pretty fucking sick of these alarms. Huh. That alarm again. Is someone listening in on us or something? That was one conveniently timed alarm, don't you think? That is unlikely. Dante. Like always, Faust looked into the bus's terminal before giving me a look that I've come to recognize. Yep, another volatility to take care of, huh? Yes, it is. Another one? Didn't we just wrap up a backdoor volatility? Like 2 minutes ago? Oh, I think I know what this is. First were the mirror dungeons and the Luxcavation dungeons. So it's gotta be... Faust considers Air Gregor's growing aptitude for deductions to be a positive development. It's the refraction railway, isn't it? The bus soon fills with the sinner's exasperated sighs. Oh, sod it, it's that bloody subway tracks again. Oh, railways really wear me out every time we enter. Well, since the last one was called Line 2, is this going to be Line 3? Excellent, Sinclair, well done. I beat Line 3. Line 3 can get fucked. That is likely, yes, though we cannot say for certain before observing it for ourselves. Dante? I know. Going through the refraction railways takes a lot out of me, too. So far, each refraction railway has had new and different patterns, and enemies we faced in there were all much more powerful than any other enemies we'd faced before. But... it's also true that I see a noticeable improvement in most sinners' combat prowess once we've had a run through the railway. Not to mention the copious amount of rewards. I don't remember exactly when it was, but Faust once took the time to explain the railway's abnormalities to me. That the abnormalities we battle in the railways are probably not the same ones that exist in the world that we live in. So it's not like we'll be able to capture them and bring them back, but they're perfect for practice, just in case we run into their real versions. Well, whichever is the case, going through the railway will be a net positive for us. So, let's get going then. I took a quick glance at the sinners, then opened the door to the back door. Well, we already did Line 3. It was somewhat difficult, but I wouldn't say it was particularly hard because I did it with a fairly mid-team that I wasn't using properly, so whatever. Oh lord, here we go, Intervalo 3. Hold on to your butts. District 20 back streets. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. So we're finally here, eh? Heathcliff looked out the rattling bus window with a dour expression. Though it wasn't raining, the world outside was grey and opaque like an overcast sky. Black, pungent clouds of smoke had long devoured the atmosphere. Welcome to Britain, District. So this is the kind of place Heathcliff used to roam. The colour remains grey this deep into the heart of the back streets. I recall with quite the certitude that the T-Corp I arrived at after my departure from S-Corp was sepia-hued. This phenomenon can be explained by the fact that the technology used to drain our saturation is situated at the centre of T-Corp. It has been reported that such variations in hue may occur in areas further away from its sphere of influence. Ah, I understand. Then... Two other sinners immediately jumped in on the conversation to direct it away from whichever obscure subject Yi Sang and Faust were about to steer it into. Oh, right, I'd like to ask you guys. Oh, yeah, me too. What? I mean, yeah, that's, oh, yeah, the buildings here look a little different from where Yi Sang used to live, so I'm just wondering if there's anything up with that. Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to ask. It's been a while since we started on this journey together. I was starting to grow more comfortable with the sinners. Maybe that's why I found Gregor and Rhodia's valiant attempt to keep this conversation remotely comprehensible to most occupants of the bus pretty amusing. Allow me to elaborate then. To discuss this subject, we must first... Look, he's so happy. And Yi Sang, unknowingly shooting down their effort by jumping onto another complicated discussion, was another sight I've become familiar with. But he's so happy. While I was curious about the technology T-Corp uses to drain our color, and about the behind-the-scenes of T-Corp's operations, it wasn't something that could be answered now. I decided to table that discussion for later. Instead, I approached Heathcliff. He was sitting on his lonesome, clearly deep in thought. Oh, clockhead. Still racking your head about what to wear to Wuthering Heights? What? No, it's nothing like that. Heathcliff protested, jumping up from his seat. Looks like I hit the nail right on the head. Fine, I was, a little bit, but I was mostly reminiscing. I do remember hearing that Heathcliff used to live in the back streets. A part of some syndicate, if I recall correctly. I'm assuming it's the Dead Rabbits, right? Like, from, the Uptie 3 cutscene of, Merceau's. Dead Rabbits ID, that was a difficult sentence for me to put together for some reason, but yeah. Virgilius did say that we were going through the back streets instead of going straight to the T-Corp nest, for a reason, and then it was because of the company's orders. Maybe there's something for us to do here. Heathcliff did spend some time in the T-Corp back streets after all. Maybe we'll run into a Golden Bough here? No chance. If the Golden Bough was as common as any other twig in some back streets, why do we be doing any of this globe-trotting waste of time? True, I guess. Besides, Wuthering Heights is quite the manor in more ways than one. You won't find it anywhere near some run-down back streets like this. There's a chasm of wealth between these poor alleyway sods and them. After all, they've sent me an invitation. Quite obvious that we'll find our Golden Bough in that manor, innit? Or at least somewhere in the same nest. Correct, we will eventually travel to T-Corp's nest. Heathcliff continued to speak in a low voice. The hubbub from outside the bus seemed to blend with his words, turning into a mass of murmurs. There was a sort of commotion outside. Before we talk about wherever our eventual destination is, we'll have to clear the road of some blockage. That's good. I like clearing blockages. Your intuition is half right, Heathcliff. Huh? What? Heathcliff, who was muttering to himself in an uncharacteristic daze, jolted awake. Bloody hell, what's wrong with you and the vroom lass? Neither of you ever do anything with a proper forewarning. I simply did not see the necessity of warning you. Anyway, those outside the bus are our targets. Targets? I believe that he means to say that they must be eliminated. I feel compelled to let you know that that is not the only implication of the word target, though I am yet to be informed of the precise details of this mission, that is. Regardless, you are to make contact with a target among them. Find the target, then extract the necessary intel. Is this clear enough for you, Manager? No! Who's the target and what intel do we want? How are we supposed to find this target if you're not even going to tell us who it is? Dante asks if there are any identifying characteristics to this target. I'm sure you'll find out when you get there. You are asking me questions I have no answers to, Dante. Don't waste your time. Well, off the bus, all. I was somewhat wary of the way Virgilius answered me, but even in murky situations like these, we've always managed to pull through anyway. I'm sure things will get a little clearer once we get there. I slowly disembarked the bus with the rest of the sinners. Strife! Oh, and look at that, Slash is effective, how interesting. Well, I do believe then we're gonna go pure Blade lineage, even though I'm missing 2 of the identities, I think. But yeah, because you can have a total of 6, and there are 6, and I don't have... Oh, whatever. It's fine. To be fair, we've got Kim So. That's probably good enough. That one's headed your way, Anarchy. Oh wow, we're going straight for the Japanese. Don't worry about me, I'll handle him. Try not to get yourself killed, you got that? What a mess. We walked out of the bus and right into what appeared to be a battlefield of a violent gang war. Black cloaks flutter under the grey sky and bloodthirsty blades clash violently. The bus had stopped not even 30 paces away from the thick of the battle. They're the Kurakumo clan? Kurakumo clan, I've heard of them before. Bunch of fuckers they are! I'm sure we had some identities from that syndicate. Yeah, I haven't really used them. Some identity cards said Wakashu too. They're a pretty large subsidiary of an even larger syndicate called the Thumb. I think the identities wore outfits similar to the ones they're wearing here. I think you're right. But who are they fighting? It's gotta be a Strife. Heathcliff replied in a monotone voice like he was reading from an encyclopedia. It ain't a rare sight to see syndicates fighting one another in the back streets. Must be something about street tax or some other trivial turf dispute. Leeches, blood-sucking curs seek to oppress and exploit the weak with violence. Fie, there is nary a place these scum do not infest. It ain't anything new, lass. Most syndicates are like that. The only difference between them is how far they're willing to go. Like, right, there he is. Bloke's like that one over there. The one walking right at us. Poor bastard. Heathcliff raised his bat and pointed at the approaching man. If you were walking towards a group of people to start trouble, and one of them looked like Heathcliff and pointed a fucking bat at you that had revenge carved into it, would you keep going? Because I know for a fact I wouldn't. I'd be like, nah, I know when I'm outmatched. Nah, fuck that. I'm good, thank you. As much as, you know, we all laugh and Heathcliff is very funny, he is also an extremely intimidating dude. He wore the same outfit as the other Kurikumo clan members. The hell are you looking at? Crowding like you're here to start shit? Gonna keep pointing that bat at me? You wanna go? Is that it? Hey, lower your weapon. Let's not do anything rash. No need to escalate this further, is there? Otis stepped in to warn Heathcliff, but he did not budge. He remained motionless, the bat still raised and pointing threateningly at the approaching man. Won't matter what we do, it's foregone conclusion. That we're going to have to fight him? Right on, lad. They're in the middle of a strife. They'll be real sensitive about making it clear that this is their turf. What better way to do it than force some unwitting travelers to pay the toll for the road? Looks like we got a small one here. The Kurikumo clan henchman strutted before us like he owned the place. Just as I begin to wonder how dumb you could possibly be, you show your shrewd detective side. Gotta say, it's a real mystery, and it's why 7 Heathcliff is the best one. Ishmael muttered at Heathcliff, who was shrugging at us with an expression that clearly read, I told you so. Well, since it looks like you clowns already know how this works, let me get straight to the point. The toll is 500,000 on per person. 500,000 on! Let's see here. 1, 2, right, I count 13 of you here, and since you guys all rode in on a bus, I'm sure there's a driver in there too. Don't just skimp out on us now. I'd like it if we didn't have to make this business messy by going through the bus ourselves. Did you hear that, Dante? This is totally a highway robbery. It kind of is, isn't it? Well, it didn't really matter how much they were asking for. I wasn't going to negotiate with them anyway. Ishmael turned and looked quietly in my direction. I nodded back. Halt! There! In that field of battle! Don Quixote pointed at something. There lies a wounded dame. We must make haste and rescue her. Thou wouldst agree, no? Just as Don Quixote said, I could catch a glimpse of someone bleeding out on the ground through the chaos of clashing blades and black cloaks. Oi! What do I say about this justice rubbish? This is a syndicate turf war, yeah? No one's more or less honourable than the other. Agreed. It is no complicated mathematics to expect unnecessary allied casualties in this effort should we involve ourselves in this conflict. Alas, I do not wish to leave her behind so undefended. I guess it's an improvement. In the early days of our adventures, we would have been dragged into this conflict 5 minutes ago thanks to Don Quixote's recklessly valiant rescue attempt. I suppose she's learned her lessons by trials of fire. She was starting to show restraint for once. But it's a bit different this time. Okay, so I do think that we have to help that woman, but... Ooh! What? Manager? I didn't think that this was what that nod was about. No. I'm not saying that we should get involved because it's the right thing to do or anything like that. If Agilius was telling us the truth earlier, there is a chance that we were purposely made to drive right through this strife, which means that there must be something here they're expecting us to find. They've always put us in danger's way for a reason, after all. I just have a feeling that the wounded woman might have something to tell us. Maybe an intel of some kind? And if it turns out that we were supposed to get that intel from the Kurakumo clan and not that woman, then I suppose we'll have to beat it out of them. Oh, marvelous executive manager. I, Otis, am actually awestruck by your genius. Actually? What is she implying? That her usual flattery is phony? Oh, Dante. I don't like the way you're treating the Kurakumo clan like we're some pack of stray dogs. And don't think I missed that sympathetic look you gave her, which could only mean that you clowns are chummy with the Blade lineage. I changed his voice because I thought it was funny. I could practically hear our negotiations, not that I was going to negotiate, falling apart as the man drew his blade. A rational deliberation followed by a sensible decision. I will return my appreciation for your magnificent leadership with a flawless victory. All units, prepare for battle. Good, 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 good. And I think it'd be really funny if we were to turn around and be like, no, we're not with the Blade lineage when, we're kind of running a Blade lineage team. You know, it's a little awkward. Oh, we go full fucking pride, my dudes. Go for it. Otis's evades did not go very well, I noticed. Then fuck it, go in for damage. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I miss these guys. They're so fucking good. You will never get us to lose Yield My Flesh, which is sad because it means we won't get to use it, but it's pretty much a guaranteed victory. The music is pretty fucking bumping as well. Go on with that pride resonance, let's fucking go. Oh, it's fucking beautiful. I love it. Oh, Otis. Oh boy, she's doing a good job taking the hits though, I suppose. She can take a breather now. For context, in case some of you didn't see them, our levels are all 35, I believe, and we are slightly outnumbered, whereas I believe they'll be at level 40 and they outnumber us. So it will be a little bit spicy. But I do have Captain Ishmael and Harpooner Heathcliff if we need more reinforcements, so it's not so bad. Beautiful. Oh yeah, fuck him up. Oh, lovely. And they do, in fact, have reinforcements. How fucking quaint. Knock him out, lads. I bet we're gonna have to fight Jun at some point, which is gonna be a fucking nightmare. Very nice. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Very nice, very nice. Good stuff, good stuff. I know Blade Lineage Otis sucks, but the thing is, I really like her, so it's fine. Always gonna have her in a Blade Lineage team. Good stuff. I fucking love Blade Lineage Donkey. I actually just love all the Blade Lineage IDs I've got, okay? I can't pick one that's especially, like good to me. I like all of them. All of them are great. All bark, no bite. Truly a disappointment. While the rest of the sinners were slowly recovering from the excitement of battle, Don Quixote did not waste a second before bolting forth to the woman's side. Hark, art thou? Ah, I must check thy pulse. Ooh, you can check her pulse through her forehead? I didn't know that was possible. The lady lives. Oh, so this lass has the intel we need. The sinners one by one began to gather around the woman. She was dressed in an all-black garb like the Kurikumo clan members, but her weapon and her outfit were unmistakably distinct. Blade lineage, huh? I looked around at the defeated Kurikumo clan members, then back at her. The difference became even more apparent. Don Quixote slowly and tragically shook her head after checking the pulse on others. Executive Manager, I have questioned some Kurikumo clan members during the battle, but no notable intelligence has been gained. So it's just her then. I hope my gut feelings prove me right. The lady doth appear to be the sole survivor. We must move her to the bus and administer first aid post-haste. What dost thou say to that? Yeah, don't see any other way. We don't carry a first aid kit with us, and I can't turn the clock to heal her, so... Maso, do you mind carrying her back to the bus, you big, strong man? I do not. Thus we made our way back to the bus, Maso carrying the dying Blade lineage member. I see that you've hauled in enough baggage. Vergilius didn't seem very happy about this. Manager, since when did bringing in unauthorized, unverified guests into our bus become such an acceptable practice? We had no choice. We have to save her first if we're going to get any answers out of her. Dante explains that this individual will be of no use to us deceased. If she carries the intel we need, then we must first ensure that she survives. On that, Faust agrees with Dante's decision. Oh, what's done is done. However, do be mindful of bringing in strangers onto this bus from now on, Dante. Or I will send you straight to your room. I had a feeling that Vergilius had much more to say than that, but he simply sighed and dropped the subject. Well, I believe that Manager Esquire hath made a decision most just. Thanks. Just as I was starting to dread that this bus was doomed to be eternally uncomfortable, Yi Sang emerged from the back door with good news. I have done what I can, now. And before he even finished his sentence... Hello? The woman was awake. Big success, we did it, everyone's happy. I'm gonna get a promotion to Supreme Executive Manager. Are they gonna attack the boss? Are they gonna be like, hey, give us your boss? And we'll be like, no. Where? Tuba. Welcome to the boss. And oh, we are an Odachi? Ha! The Blade lineage woman sprang from her prone position, grabbing the sword next to her. She held the grip of her blade, ready to draw it at any moment. Identify your smelf. Are you with the Kurikumo clan? No. So we're... Then why does that woman wield an Odachi? Fucking... Let us explain, please. She will not listen. We should kill her. Ryoshu! She pisses me off for 2 reasons. 1, she refused to listen, making this conversation longer than it needed to be. 2, she dared to compare their scrap metals to my blade. Is there any reason for me to not proceed with her oof clock? Yeah, there is. She can't tell us anything if she's dead. Ryoshu often shows bursts of emotion in the most unexpected times, but at least she listens when I ask her to, which is a relief, because I wouldn't have expected to be honest. I suppose your blade is not exactly like theirs. Your uniform is certainly different. Thank you for beginning to notice these things. And you, who might you be? You certainly wear a rather loud timepiece. Are you unable to communicate otherwise? They are our manager. Their vocalizations will not reach your ears. I recognize the scent your voice carries. It's familiar. Even in the districts that I have resided in, have I not met fellows who speak as I do? Speak as you do indeed, yet I sense familiarity in your choice of verbiage. You must be from District 19, S-Corp, are you? Though I have fled, that is where I hail from. I see. So you've also left your home behind. That's a really lazy attempt for a shaded face look. That looks like something I'd do in fucking Photoshop. I'm sorry, but it's literally just a black line with a little bit of like faded edge on the bottom part. But look, the rest of that's just a black texture. I wouldn't point it out so much, but I've never seen such a lazy visual effect in any Project Moon game. Ever. Not once. Yeah, no, I'm leaning in, and like, it is pretty much, not entirely, but pretty much just a solid black texture put over her face. Look, her hair is sticking out from underneath it. It's just a cap. It's a shower cap. No, it's a swimming cap. Like, you know, when you were in school and you had to go swimming and they made you wear those rubber fucking caps that were awful if you had long hair. It's just wearing one of those and it's covering her eyes. That looks so fucking terrible. My compatriots oft share the same fate as we do. Perhaps meeting someone from the same home district helped. The woman visibly relaxed before slumping down on a nearby chair. Her breathing was labored. My name is Yi Sang. I have operated on the wounds you have suffered. I'm a doctor as well, by the way. Ah, so I've acted with such brutishness despite your kindness. Please accept my apologies. Don't make me put my shower cap back on. Call me Engdu. I am a Salzu from the lineage that deals in blades. Ooh, Dante, maybe we can leave the talking to Yi Sang this time? Looks like we can sit back and let him handle this. I nodded, replying quickly to Rhodia's whispers. If you are from District 19 S-Corp territory, then you must be aware of who we are. I am somewhat aware, though I am far from acquainted with tales from the streets. I have heard that the Blade lineage is bound to no master, no land, yet whence do you flee? It is a tale far too long to be shared in full. All I may divulge is that we had no choice but to seek a territory for us to thrive in. Perhaps there is aught that we could do to assist, should you deign to impart us the particulars of your pursuers. Ongdu shot a sweeping glance at all of us. Her eyes appeared heavy with crushing exhaustion. If you and your fellows were skilled enough to defeat this group of foes, then all of you must be quite capable. Kurokumo clan has put a bounty on our heads. Our mentor, my fellows, all of us. Hold on. This ain't just any other strife then. That sounds more personal than your usual turf war. As it has always been, District 19 is fraught with corruption and disturbance to the lives of the public. I have now put on my shower cap again. There is little that us men and women of the Blade who seek naught else but to train and walk the path of martial arts can do to change the wing now known as Salpipio Agroindustries or S-Corp. No fucking clue. As the old saying goes, what other choice does a monk who abhors his temple have but to leave it behind? Thus we have departed from our home, so the people of S-Corp suffer still. We had departed in search of a new home, yet it was no easy journey. Most territories have already been made home by others. In order for us to settle, conflict was unavoidable. In the midst of those conflicts, I have the memory of our mentor bringing us an invitation to enter a library of sorts. Vergilius, who had been sitting quietly with one leg over the other on a chair far from the rest of us, visibly reacted. I think I remember that the word library always got a genuine reaction out of Vergilius. You have the memory. Quite an odd way to phrase your own recollections. We arrived at the library, hoping to escape the Kurokumo clan's clutches. But all we had done was to lead ourselves into just another field of battle. We were handily defeated. Then, all of a sudden, we found ourselves stranded in the back streets of T-Corp. Upon our waking, the bizarreness of such an experience can only be described by an expression just as odd. So, yeah, if I remember correctly, the Blade lineage were a bonus, what's it called, reception. I think they were a bonus offshore reception, if I remember correctly, but this confirms that reception is canon. Mentor Bamboo-Hatted Kim! Oh wow, he's actually here. Her eyes suddenly widened mid-sentence. Engdu leapt from her seat. I believe that our mentor remains there still. We must make haste to Yongjin building. Be not so hasty. Such wild movements may tear the wounds I have. My wounds. Huh? What the heck? Is she dead? It is no surprise that a sudden rise in blood pressure in lieu of blood supply would cause one to faint. She has merely lost her consciousness. Phew. You were right, manager. She did have some useful intel for us. You're so smart. Yongjin building. I suppose we have some business there then. Maybe, but I'm not sure. I don't know what this has to do with our mission, if any. Or maybe it's that library that we should... Danger, danger. Bunch of people in Mephi's way, swinging swords around, black clothes. Passengers move out, protect Mephi. Executive manager, they appear to be Kurakumo clan's reinforcements. Well, what can we do? We'll have to think about this later. For now, let's take care of the reinforcements. Oh, yes. We're going to absolutely slap them up and down the street. Even though we don't have any support passives now. So, all we've got is cornering, which we don't really use. Yeah. I'm trying to level up some IDs, alright? Even though I know that the amount of experience you get from these battles is negligible. The way I see it, if it saves me a single fucking XP voucher, it's worth it. But we'll see if that theory holds water.
물러서지 않겠습니다.
Good shit. Well done, Don Quixote. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely staggered. Oh, even Otis is joining in. Yes. She took a minor hit. Who cares? See, well, the Kurakumo clan members are a little stronger than you initially think when you fight them. Like, they do roll relatively high. It's quite interesting. No chance. That was fucking amazing. Oh, but wait, there's more. I'm keeping an eye out to make sure Jun doesn't fucking show up, because that would signal the beginning of the end, really.
물러서지 않겠습니다.
Absolutely rolling them over.
혈이 난자오.
Oh, you poor fuckers.
물러서지 않겠습니다.
확실하게 갈라지는 감각이었네.
God damn.
비껴 베어버렸군.
Fuck.
대응이 충분합니다. 침착한 결과입니다. 침착한 결과입니다.
Easy, Dosh Mitz. Don't worry about it. Alright, well, that's all we're doing for today, because we've gone on for a bit, and I'm also fucking dying of the heat right now. And my throat's also giving out. That's kind of the problem. Not that I'm blaming PM for this at all, but it's kind of the problem with this style of presentation of the cantos and intervals and whatever, is that because they're not voiced and I'm voicing them, and I'm like, well, if it's just me reading monotone the whole time, it's going to get rather boring. So I try to put a bit more inflection into my voice and stuff and do different voices and whatever, and it does my fucking throat in, like, real bad. So it forces me really to limit these videos a little bit, which isn't so bad because it keeps them at a reasonable length, but it does mean it'll be a little slower going. But like I said, next time we'll get through Intervallo 3, it'll be done, so there's no need to worry about this going too slowly. We will get to Canto 6, don't you fucking worry. And there was no reality in which I was going to finish Intervallo 3 today anyway. That's all for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Lumen, Crystallite, Summercat, Flanny, Painter Dragoon, Lila the Hexire, Lip Potatoes, Proxy, Caminera, Heartland, Tarek J, Dresso, Sion Distance, Lol, Final Legend, Etherbin, Linky, Zeon Cedar, Bimblewort, Majoko, Mymoon, Alkia, Sweet Baby Red, Jess Kitty, Plutonium Pie, Dreamer Ghost, Leper Lullaby, K-Bub, Magic Owl, The Frostbite, Monsoon, Warmasoku, SCP-106A, Namad, and Kenny T800 for support me on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, no, I'm quite excited to be in this Intervallo 3. It fucking, I do love Kurakumo Clan and I love Blade Lineage, so absolutely thrilled to be here and interacting with these characters. I was really tempted, just to make things a bit more interesting, to get the remaining Kurakumo Clan IDs, level them all up, and then attempt to do this Intervallo with them, because I know that the Kurakumo Clan IDs aren't considered to be particularly great in the grand scheme of things, and I honestly would do that if it wasn't for the fact we are trying to raise a specific team for Canto 6, and really that's the more important thing to focus on. We'll do some stuff with a Kurakumo Clan team at some point, because I want to. I know they're not good. I'm aware that they're not a good team, but I want to play with them because the whole point of this game, really, by this point, when you get to the late game, the whole point is picking IDs that you think are fucking cool and running with them and making it work, or at least that's how I perceive it. So that's definitely a team I want to run. But I digress. I'm rambling. Thank you so much for watching. Whatever happens next time, and we shall yield our flesh to claim their bones. It's in the title. It's in the title. And when we do, I hope I see you there. Toodles. Goodbye.